When I first heard about child trafficking, it was information that my mind could not even conceive of. It haunted me for weeks. Babies and 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds being raped. They're taken into a brothel, they're broken into submitting.
It's called seasoning. They'll be the ones locked back in the room, chained back in the room. They'll be forced to service anywhere from 10 to 20 men a day. They like side for 2 years, and they basically try to get them to check out mentally and just to lose their will to fight.
I couldn't believe it. I was completely overwhelmed with sadness. And I couldn't live with the thought of not doing something about it, because these could be my kids.
Right now, we are heading to the Muslim slum, and this is a huge pool for traffickers. They start out selling flowers, rings of flowers, and then from there it's a small step to brothels. And so the ones that you see on Slumdog Millionaire, all the child beggars, all the child, it's all very real. And its majority are these children from these slums. They're the beggars, they're the workers, they're the trash diggers, and they'll be the child prostitutes.
And these are the mothers who are selling their kids.
And so it just shows you the desperation and why people are selling their children. They look at it as it's better to sacrifice one child so that the other 4 will live. You cannot fathom why a mother would sell her child, but then you see their conditions and you see what they live in, and then you start to see, okay, they can't even feed their children. You find children in vulnerable situations, at-risk children, and you can prevent it if you're at the right place at the right time.
Did they try, the UN, for example, to stop what's happening? Like,
yeah, they have a whole anti-trafficking unit, but there's so much red tape. They have a whole anti-trafficking unit, but they have no safe home to bring them to. So when we got our girl for $24, they said, we're so thankful you got her. We knew she was going to be sold. And I said, well, why didn't you bring her somewhere? And they said, there's nowhere to bring her. Everyone's scared. No one will start a safe home. They're scared of the police. They're scared of the government. They're scared of housing illegal children.
Favorite moment so far in Thailand is when we were leaving the slum. They didn't want us to go, of course, so they're running after us and waving goodbye. We waved goodbye back, and they would go around the bend, and they would be the kids again, the same kids. They're like running over like backyards and stuff to like keep on waving goodbye to us. It's sad that they lived in the dumps, but just seeing they're still full of life and just so beautiful and kind and generous.
Oh my gosh.
What?
It's a beautiful thing to see.
It's hard for me as a parent to imagine my kids going through what a lot of these kids that are victims of human trafficking are going through these days.
I met Stephanie at Artist Palooza, and she told me about the statistics of what was going on with the human slave trade of children in Thailand, and I was appalled.
It just makes you uncomfortable. Well, they're all our children, and we need to be doing whatever we can to stop this from happening.
I was also enrolled by her taking a stance of doing something about it.
Every day, a child is either being sold into slavery or killed, and so time is definitely of the essence. More children are being hurt, and so that just completely drives me, and hopefully that will inspire you to also act as soon as you can and help us.
Each one of us can make a huge difference. It's an overwhelming number when you think of all the kids who are being trafficked. 2 kids are being trafficked each minute, specifically for the sex trade. But, you know, there's a lot of us out there, and if we made a difference in the life of one child, then that child would have a life in the future and would be able then to, in turn, help many others. It's so horrific what is happening to these little kids that I think that we shouldn't be at peace with it.
I just imagine a child praying somewhere, praying to God to get him or her out of this situation. Sometimes I wonder, how could God allow these prayers to go unanswered? But maybe He's connecting children with us right now. While the children praying, little does that kid know, that he's praying, that there's people halfway around the world doing something to help. Hopefully that kid will soon know that he will be helped. Those prayers are being answered by all of us, by me, by you, and let's just do this. Let's make this happen.